let's unbox the WowGo Knight. I believe this is supposed to be the successor to the WowGo 3X, which came out end of last year. Kind of forget, it's been a while. But yeah, the WowGo 3X has been out for a little while now. This is what the deck looks like. This grip tape design, it looks like it was what somebody submitted in that grip tape design contest that WowGo had a while ago. Looks like 90mm wheels. I think these are the same wheels as the WowGo 3X, but just black instead of orange. It's still belt drive. I'm not sure if this is a flexi deck or stiff deck. It looks pretty thick. Let's turn it over. Oh, there's a handle. WowGo said that they have their own in-house truck now. I think they're referring to the front truck. Yeah, so this is their in-house truck. I think they haven't decided on a name. I tried to get some information about this truck on why it's better. They couldn't really tell me anything. Like, all I know is that it's a cast truck. They just tell me that it's more stable than the Paris V2. Well, come on, everything's more stable than the Paris V2. I'm gonna take this off and then we'll take a look at things like the bushing seat, the rake, the pivot pin. So there's gonna be two battery configurations. One is 5 amp hours and the other is, I don't know, I only have the specs for the 5 amp hour. It's 10S2P using Samsung 25R. I wonder if this is, this might be a budget version of the 3X. I'm not really sure. Okay, before we get too far into this, I have something important to point out. Before I started unboxing this product, I did not realize that this is meant to be a lower tier or more budget product compared to the WowGo 3X. That's why in this video I seem kind of confused about some of WowGo's design decisions. This is supposed to be a lower end product. The WowGo 3X is supposed to be a higher end product. Anyway, just watch the rest of the video. That's 180 watt hours. So for my weight, 69 kilograms, I'll probably get around 18 kilometers for a typical ride, just like a casual ride. The weight is 7.6 kilograms according to them. I'll double check. 550 watt motors. I assume that's each. The motors are 50-55 Hobbywing motors. Okay, the deck, 8 layers of Canadian maple. The length is 96.5 centimeters, 23 centimeters wide, 13 millimeters thick. I have a 3X over there. I'll bring it over to put them side by side in a little bit. It says here Hobbywing 9028. Not sure what that means. Charger is 1.5 amps. According to them, it should take 3.5 hours to charge. Let's see, features, quicker and smoother in acceleration. Deck, better flexural strength and toughness. It sounds like it means it's more stiff. WowGo newly designed trucks, better stability and comfort in high speed, great carving experience. Better water resistance design. Okay, if it's better water resistance, I'm assuming that's on the inside because the outside looks the same as before as the 3X. Power system, easily to change between hub motors and belt drive motors. Ah, okay, yeah, that's kind of interesting. Standby mode allows you to, standby mode allows you to turn the board on or off using just the remote. Okay, so that part's interesting. Remote, pads, hex key, T-tool, guitar mount, a light, manual, typed out letter, thank you for choosing WowGo board, etc, etc. Charger, USB Type-C cable. So let's see if standby mode works. And it's on. Let's turn this off. Okay, and then I want to turn it on again and see how long it takes to be able to start moving. Okay. About 3 seconds. I feel like that's faster than X-Way. Well, I'm not sure. I should compare. But that does, I don't know. My impression is that X-Way standby mode feels a little bit slow sometimes. Why is it? Sounds so... Oh, this is so tight. Handle. Kind of, I don't know. I feel like handles are kind of ugly, but they really do make carrying the board easier. So here I have a WowGo 3X and a WowGo Knight. Okay, they're actually about the same size. The WowGo Knight kind of has a X-Way shape, huh? It's still flexy, but it feels a little stiffer. Yeah, there's a significant difference in the stiffness. This is definitely more stiff than the 3X. Kind of feel like they cheaped out on the deck. Interesting. Yeah, I wonder if this is a budget version because, I don't know, maybe they're gonna update the 3X also. So the 3X has the foam grip tape, which, I don't know, I don't care too much about that, but I just want to point out that the WowGo Knight doesn't have that. Okay, let's compare the front trucks now. This is a Paris V2. Now I'll take off the front truck from the WowGo Knight. All right, let's compare. Okay, both of them are raked, and the amount of rake looks to be about the same as far as I can tell. The bushing seats look very similar, actually. The pivot pins look the same also. Guys, I'm not really seeing a difference, to be honest. There's more of a rough texture on the WowGo truck. This is something that kind of pisses me off about some manufacturers. Like, they would tell me that, okay, this board is better. And then I ask them, okay, why? Then they'll tell me, you just ride it and then you'll feel that it's better. I don't see why the WowGo truck would be better than the Paris V2. Yeah, I don't see a difference. Anyway, let me just give you a close look. This is the Paris V2. Okay, editor, do a side-by-side shot, all right? And this is the WowGo truck. Yeah, take a look at the bushing seat, the way the shape of the bowl. Here's the pivot pin for the Paris V2, very rounded. And here it is on the WowGo truck. Looks the same to me. Here's the back, Paris V2, and here's the back of the WowGo truck. I don't see why this should be better than this, and they didn't tell me why either, except that it is. Okay, I don't know if the material's better or what, but all the areas that matter for the behavior of the truck, they're exactly the same. Almost exactly the same. The WowGo Knight's rear truck and the WowGo 3X's rear truck, they're the same. The bushings are different. The Paris truck is using Paris bushings, the WowGo truck, generic bushings, I guess. I'm not trying to knock on WowGo, but the thing is, like, if you're gonna tell me you have a new part and it's better, you gotta give me the reasons, man. You gotta, like, give me actual reasons. To be fair, I have not tried riding this board yet. Maybe once I ride it, I'll feel it. I don't know, but just from looking at it, the designs are like the same. All right, let me just turn these around to show you the rear trucks. Yeah, it looks the same as before. Here's the WowGo Knight, and here's the WowGo 3X. Okay, actually, while I'm doing this, let me show you how to tighten trucks. So as you can see right now, I can spin the washer with my finger, right? So what I'm gonna do now is tighten this to the point where I can no longer spin this with my hand. So right now I can still spin it, so that means the truck is too loose. So yeah, you can see that there's a lot of slop right now. It's almost there. Half a turn should do it. This is how you should set your trucks. You don't want them too tight. As loose as possible would be when you can no longer spin the washer with your fingers. And then from there, it's gonna depend on the truck. On some trucks, you're gonna need to tighten a little bit more from there. And on other trucks, you just stop right there. So I happen to know that this truck, it feels pretty loose. So I tightened it a little bit more. I need to ride it, but I'm probably gonna have to tighten this more. Ideally, I should use a harder bushing. Well, actually, I don't know what bushings they're using. They are 95A. Since I'm talking about bushings, let me show you the front real quick. I actually like to keep the front pretty loose. Although on a Paris V2 type of truck, I probably don't need it that loose. If you want to loosen up the front and your board comes with a cup washer, what you can do is just flip the washer, put it on backward, and your front truck is gonna be more loose. Let me just give you my initial thoughts about the WowGo Knight. It has some improvements over the WowGo 3X. For example, the standby mode, which allows you to turn on the board using the remote. That's really cool. Let me check real quick if it has belt tensioning. Yes, you can adjust the belt tension. The deck is gonna depend on personal preference. The concave is about the same. They both have a very shallow concave. It's definitely more stiff than the WowGo 3X deck. Some people might like it, some people might not. The WowGo 3X deck is pretty flexy, although I haven't really seen people complain about that. I think it's partly because the WowGo 3X is obviously trying to mimic the boosted board. A characteristic of the boosted board is the flexy deck. Okay, I personally feel like deck on the boosted version 1 and 2 is a little bit too flexy, but I don't know. This deck is, this maple deck, it's not very springy. It just it feels kind of stiff actually. But again, I haven't ridden it yet. I need to ride it. It's gonna be a couple days before I can ride it because it's been raining. It just started raining. It's gonna be raining for a few days. Yeah, I look forward to riding it. Let me just read what they said. Okay, because I asked them to send me a list of why this is better than before. Instant torque when accelerating is more than 3X. Is it? Okay, so I felt like the 3X already had pretty good torque. So according to WowGo, this has even better torque. Braking power increased, so that's interesting also because I felt like the 3X already had really good brakes, but I don't mind having even better brakes. Motor power is increased according to WowGo. Better water resistance. Again, if that's true, it's probably inside the enclosures. I don't want to deal with the screws. I'm sorry. Knight is more efficient than 3X. Oh, I almost forgot about this. Friendly to DIY users. Easily to change motors between hub motors and belt drive. I'm going to try this right now. I have over here a set of hub motors for the X-Way Flex. I'm going to try to put these hub motors on the WowGo Knight. Let's see what happens. So WowGo's trucks use these 9-pin connectors. So do the X-Way Flex. I think Boosted also uses this. I think Backfire also uses this. So pretty common now. I now have the X-Way Flex hub motors connected to the WowGo Knight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, here we go. Oh. Oh, look at it go. I'm not doing anything, by the way. The wheels are spinning in opposite directions right now. I gotta do some more stuff. Let me study the instructions again. My Chinese is not good enough to understand this. Okay, I understood part of it. He said that this feature is compatible with many different types of motors. I think he said it's highly compatible with other motors. Which motors exactly are compatible, and like how do you know if a set of motors are not compatible? He told me that if the motors are made for electric skateboards, they're most likely going to be compatible. The motors might not be compatible if the motors are made for, like, for example, a drone. Yeah, because they're too different. The voltage and the kV need to be somewhat similar. According to him, all electric skateboard motors are relatively similar, or similar enough. The ESC should be compatible. Okay, I'm supposed to do something with the pole pairs. For the pole pairs options, you select 7. If you're using belt drive. If you're using hub motors, you're supposed to select 10. Those of you guys who do DIY, you probably know more about this. Maybe you can leave a comment. Well, it didn't work. I don't know what I did wrong. I sent a message to WowGo I sent them a video to, so I just talked to WowGo. The steps that I took were correct, but he said something about the pin order being different in X-Way's motors. I looked at these pins. Physically, they look exactly the same, X-Way pins and WowGo's pins, but the guy from WowGo, Aiden, he said that the internally, they must be different, so that's why it didn't work. Like he tells me that this should work with almost any electric skateboard motors, and then the first set that I try, it doesn't work. I don't know. He says that Boosted, Evolve, Backfire should all work. X-Way is the exception, whatever, but that's the explanation. This doesn't matter for the board anyway. It only matters if you're doing DIY or if for some reason you want to swap to different motors. Hey, this is the WowGo Knight. I just finished a range test. According to the remote, I got 18.1 kilometers. According to my watch, I got 17.9 kilometers. And according to the Ride app on my phone, I got 18.5 kilometers. Cool, so all three numbers are within 1 kilometer difference. Hey, this was fun. I got the small battery version, so I kind of wish that I had the larger battery. It's really fun. It's really stable. Anyway, I'll talk more about it later.